back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Willie Gay and KJ Britt, Miami Dolphins linebackers. See how they performed in their first action for Miami in preseason week 1. Look at their usage because I think both are very specific players that will definitely play a role for Miami this season. I know Willie Gay's been a standout in camp. You got to see KJ Britt make some plays. They both have very specific strengths, but also have some still specific weaknesses that can be exposed, which is why I do think they will be more of rotational and situational players. Willie Gay, you're seeing how effective he is rushing the passer. Very good blitzer. You want to get him in those situations. He's a guy that can play off ball, but shouldn't be a true off ball starter for you. He's a guy who should be kind of moved around, brought in ideal situations, because I think versus the run, if he has to play as a true off ball, if you have to have him process there, that's where he can get kind of caught in the mud. You want him just plain run downhill. Don't have him think too much. And then KJ Britt, great rundown thumper, just does a really good job in those situations. And he's kind of an old school linebacker in between the box. Makes some plays, but doesn't have super great range. Isn't great in coverage, but very tough. And he got to show it out more, I think, in this preseason game than maybe he was in practice. And I like this linebacker room a lot more than linebacker rooms in the past. This depth is much better, so it'll be exciting to go through this. First play, though, this is Willie Gay's first play. And see, when he comes onto the field here, he ended up rotating down to the line of scrimmage, playing as an end on the same side as Bradley Chubb. He's a third linebacker on the field, so they come out in a base look, which is when I'm that this is kind of where you want Willie Gay to be playing more of is that Sam, Dodson, and Brooks are your true off-ball guys, and then you allow, you get Gay a free look here with a running back. He does a great job setting this up. He understands situation. He feels way more. This is his natural feel. Getting after the quarterback. One great athlete, so fast, so explosive. Does a really good job setting up and feeling blocks and stuff. He'll blow up a running back, but he does a great job here. He sets us up with a little inside stab right there. Frees the running back exactly where he wants him. Gets to his outside half. Knows he doesn't want to work too far past the guy. Knows the running back will kind of overcommit and play him. Uses his hand to shove him to the side, work back to the inside, knows the quarterback will try to step up. Great feel for that situation. Gets the sack. This is where I expect to see Willie Gay used a lot. I think even in the practices, most of his big plays that have been reported are sacks or some coverage plays. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for his situational role in this season. He'll also play true off ball stuff. This is where I think he can make plays as true off ball. He's not the super processor, but backside of outside zone, on this toss play, he has enough athleticism to beat the guard to point of attack. He's just got enough speed. He can make up for it in speed, being the will here on this play, weak side linebacker, and then just show some great range. Just another solid play there. And then you see, this is sort of one of KJ Britt's first play. He's going to do a great job just playing as a run fit guy, working off sort of this clump. They got this 3-on-2 right here. And he's kind of just working where he can go kind of fill into that gap if needed, and then fill in here. He's just being patient. He sees this huge space open up, so he comes downhill, fills it. He stays square, breaks down, and then he just squares this guy up. Really strong at the point of attack. Old school mentality. He's also one of the guys that, out of the linebacker group can take on blocks the best, too. If he isn't kept clean, he can actually go on and take on some potential blocks. So these are just, nice positives that you get from both players. Here's another solid processing of the play, this time on the backside, not just filling up top. You also have to be able to play in some pursuit and then just show a good feel, because he might show that he's going to fit into this hole, this gap, but he starts to anticipate, knows that when he flashes here, this running back's going to cut and get back to this way. So he's anticipating. This is great anticipatory skills. He feels it the whole way and then is able to meet the running back. Might want to make this tackle a little closer to the line of scrimmage, but shows that he does have some good processing and is able to kind of see things, feel things before they end up actually happening, being able to anticipate what the running back's going to do. That's kind of where I think KJ Britt brings his value. Not going to give you too much in coverage. I think he had a pass breakup in this game, but that's not really where his strength's going to lie in real regular season action. Then we get to see Willie Gay as a blitzer, using him so many different ways, able to basically work this game with Butler there. Get off the ball, attack it outside, then, bend this back to the inside. Running back's able to adjust, but now he's able to adjust late, so he catches him off balance. And, Willie Gay, like, he combines that speed to power really well, puts that guy on his back, gets that pressure. And this has also helped force the interception because wasn't able to be a perfect throw, a little behind, balls tipped up in the air. Great job there from Willie Gay. Very impressed with him as a blitzer. And I think, it's just really important that you have the right defensive coordinator for a player like Willie Gay because he is a situational guy and you have to be able to use him the right way. Because like full-time starter, his weaknesses will get exposed as a full-time guy. But like if you use him in the right spots, like he will have a very high level season because of those situational plays. Here's another example of it just tossing the running back aside. Like he's able to play with so much power, leverage, maintain that explosiveness. Very, very good stuff. Then we got KJ Britt here, number 3. He's doing a good job taking on blocks. He's able to side shuffle, kind of stay in a position potentially for a cutback. He has to square up the offensive lineman. He's able to stack, show some shock in his hands, peek to find the running back, and then extend and shed, keep a good base, dip underneath, and then help make that tackle with Jordan Phillips there. Really good stuff. Pretty much like close to teach tape when it comes to taking on offensive linemen like this, like pure squaring them up. And I know these are some backup offensive linemen, but at the end of the day, that's still an lineman which is much bigger than you, and you're able to square him up, shotgun hands, and like that's something KJ Britt was showing in some regular season film last year. This is something that like still is clearly a part of his bag, and I think if he does play like reps in regular season for Miami, that's sort of how he would make plays versus the run. Definitely a run help linebacker. And in obvious run situations, wouldn't mind rotating him onto the field because that's kind of where he can make some plays. Threw this play in here because I kind of thought it was funny. Just like the play action boot, you prefer, Gay and Pursuit on these plays because he has the range. Just watch him here. He's able to get to this spot to take away potentially 81. He does just shove him to the ground, which is legal if he's within like 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. I think he's a few yards past that, but he doesn't get called. I just thought it was kind of funny to show. But you also just see like that speed to like catch up to things gets there so easy, and then quarterback ends up running in that spot, but that's good. Here's sort of a negative Willie Gaze. I think when like they kind of catch him moving one way, they get him like with misdirection. They go play action boot, and like this tight end's getting out to the flat on his side. He's just late to see it. This is why he's more of a run and chase guy. Like in this spot, he's more of a guy where like you want to ask him to just chase downhill and get out to the quarterback rather than try to read what's happening, and then they get like a free action out to the tight end. Storm Duck kind of saves him, but that is initially on Willie Gay, kind of playing that flat and taking away that. That's something that I think he would need to improve upon, like just overall instincts. And I don't think you're going to see like that area get much better because that's kind of who Willie Gay has been since college. And you got to put him in the best position possible. Here's KJ Britt helping down on the goal line. This was a super impressive Jordan Phillips play, taking on that double team. KJ Britt recognizes it, comes down to fill in his gap. Great run fit. Guard comes off of him to take on that block. He does a great job squaring him up, not getting pushed back. Actually, like help the running back even run into the guard there a little, which helps stall his momentum and stop the touchdown. Here's another of him just taking on offensive line, just getting downhill, constricting space, not giving up ground. It's very nice to see him do this stuff and help limit those run games because that's where I want to see him make plays if he is, someone that ends up playing. I think he's still the 4th linebacker, which is fine, but like he's a 4th linebacker that I could see get playing time in those specific obvious run situations, like throwing him on the field over a Tyrell Dotson in that spot, like would not be the worst thing. It's like a very obvious run because he is a better run defender than Dotson. Brooks is the do-it-all. Willie Gay is your best blitzer. Dotson's probably your best like true zone dropper, and I think Britt's like your best run defender of those 3. Brooks might be the best at all of them, but he's the best all around too. Here was his play in coverage. He went out there. Ball does get tipped by the D lineman, but as you see, even like his pass deflection, he's just sort of like zone dropping guy, kind of works into his area, and ball gets tipped, which helps him get there and also knock it out. But you're just gonna see like he's not like he can make like basic zone coverage plays. He's not going to be like a super impact. Like he could get taken advantage. Like if he plays man, he's going to take advantage of. If things are kind of like simple, kept in front of him in his vicinity, like he can get there and make a play, which is what most linebackers can do. But yeah, I'm a fan of KJ Britt and Willie Gay. I think it's much improved linebacker depth, and not only linebacker depth. Like hey, if they have to come in full time start, they would fill in better than what we had in the past. But also guys that can still like actually see playing time in a rotation because usually you wouldn't rotate your two stars that much, but like I could see them actually coming in and one actually have like three linebackers out there, run base maybe a little more than usual to get Willie Gay on the field in good spots, but also like putting them on the field for Tyrell Dodson in those more specific situations. So if you guys are doing that, come in and say,